Today on Water Wednesdays, you're meeting the new general manager of the Barbados Water Authority. His name, Keithroy Halliday. He's been on the job since February 15th, but he's been busy over the past few weeks getting his feet wet, meeting with senior management officials and other staff right across the authority. He tells Water Wednesdays about the feedback he's received so far.
I had the fortune to have met most of the staff, about 800. As I was traveling around, we realized that I would miss some of the staff, so it made sense to bring the staff into this location. And we did it in groups of 200. Basically opened the floor, we opened, took questions, and that was quite revealing. But for me, and what we were able to make clear to staff is that they are our greatest asset. And that discussion really allowed us to be able to explore the way forward. It allowed the staff to give a certain kind of feedback. It allowed them the opportunity to say, okay, we can work with this general manager, we can work with this new team. Because as you would appreciate, there's been a change of the guard, that is well. We have a number of new directors, we have a new GM, myself included, that is. And we have a particular mandate to get this authority to a position, to get it to where it should be, to, in essence, go through a recovery operation, or to turn around the Barbados Water Authority, as it were. And this takes into account all stakeholders, whether it's government, whether it's affiliated corporations, the union, staff, internal, etc., etc. There are quite a number of stakeholders, and in going forward, we need to make sure that they're all involved in the process.
The new GM has also outlined his plans to address the authority's financial situation. He says it's one of those issues that must be dealt with if customers are to get that service which they demand.
Facing us immediately really is how do we manage our financial resources. That's priority in terms of what we have to do. We have limited revenue to some extent. We have limited resources coming in the overall. Government subvention can only go so far. Government can only offer us so much. And because we are at this juncture where we have so many competing priorities in terms of projects, in terms of refurbishment, in terms of replacement of our means, we find that the resources are simply not enough. We also at the point, or we're also in a position where, that notwithstanding, we still need to be able to increase our procurement of water. And because we have to do that, we have entertained and we're looking at the installation of 2 additional desalination plants. And those are not cheap, they come very expensive. They are very expensive. So in that regard, we know that our expenses will continue to rise. So having that before us, we know we need to look at how do we contain expenses? How do we move the BWA in a position that it actually will become more self-sustainable, or more self-reliant, or more self-sufficient in years to come? And that is a part of our long-term consideration. Immediately, we have to look at how best we can redeploy our resources. There's some mismatch, there's some misalignment. So as projects come to fruition, as projects close, we need to see how best we can retool our HR. We need to see how best we can make better use of those resources. So for us, the immediate priority is how do we start managing or navigating the way forward based on existing resources that are available, and as well, how do we manage our HR in a much better or much improved fashion.
And you will hear a whole lot more from the new General Manager, Keithroy Halliday, on the next episode of Water Wednesdays, so look out for that. To view this or a previous episode again, please visit the BWA's website, www.barbadoswaterauthority.com, or you can go to YouTube and type in Water Wednesdays.
It is